Okay, y'all, it's the beginning of Ordinary Time, and I'm brand new to the Liturgy of the Hours, also called the Divine Office. And here is my brand new Liturgy of the Hours book. And as you know, I'm very ADD, and this time, each time I go through this, I create another little system of tabs. And this time I've got some high dollar ones. I actually went to one of the office supply stores and purchased them. I only go to the health food store and to see my folks. That's it. So it was like I felt like I went to a vacation to Europe to get some new little. And then look what I've got here. These are from the Daughters of Mary, and they had these available, and I immediately snapped them up. And I'll show you the other ones that I've purchased for the. Actually, it's for the Father Lassan's Missal, but they also fit the Liturgy of the Hours 4-volume set. So I've got this one. And I've got this one, and all I need to do now, the hardest decision I have now is which one am I going to use for this volume. And then at the end of this video, I'll show you the other ones that I've purchased. These are absolutely gorgeous. They fit perfectly. I just love them, and I just love the Daughters of Mary. So I've got my tabs already set up in Adobe Acrobat. It's just a matter of printing them and going through this book and seeing if there's any, because I noticed that the one for Christmas time was a little bit different. And so it threw me for a loop, so I had to update my labels. But I'm enjoying each different volume. I have a different little system that I create. And let's see if I can go without the ribbons this time. I'm starting to get into it, and I'm just looking forward to doing a little bit of setup work here now. First thing I like to do is set up the Psalter and then kind of work around the rest of it. I think the second thing I usually do is I go to the Commons. For some reason, that's just, but isn't this cool? Listen how it, can you hear it? It's a brand new book, and the pages are still kind of stuck together. Just so cool. I don't know, let me see if I can you hear it? Isn't that neat? Anyway, I'm just pumped about doing this. The only problem I have now is what's the color system going to be, but it's just nice because it allows me to take a look at the book and figure out how it's set up. And as someone who's new, it's just very helpful to understand how to navigate the book, because it can be very overwhelming to anybody who's attempted to pray the Liturgy. I'm going to go with the tried and true, and to me, blue is Psalter. I don't know why, because salt comes from the sea, and the sea is blue. That's just, so I'm going to go ahead and okay, I've got my Psalter set up, and the way that these tabs are set up, I love the song. I have downloaded every version of this song that I can find, and I'm trying to memorize this Latin prayer. The first time I ever heard this with the Daughters of Mary singing it, I started crying, and I said, what is this song? I need to learn it and memorize it and learn Latin. It was literally this one song. It's absolutely beautiful, and I've just found so many different, literally, I have a playlist called Compline, and I've found, some of these are like literally the same song. Is it Configurator? I don't even know how to pronounce it, but I'm trying to learn how to say it. But anyway, I've got literally a playlist of these prayers. Oh, it's just beautiful. But anyway, the way this is set up, you can't just get a bunch of blue tabs. You have to go blue, green, blue, green. So I just went ahead and set up my Psalter. And then I figured out, well, I'll use green for like common prayers. So like what we have here is, well, let's see, I went ahead and did the ordinary. Then, as you know, for those of you, and this I just recently figured out, because I'm always like, where's that prayer? Where's that prayer? It's not on the page. Well, then you've got like these common prayers that you would say at the end, like on Sunday after every office, and then apparently this. So I went ahead and labeled that. And then there's these alternative prayers in the back, and so I figured that those label colors would match. It really helps. It's really helped me learn how to navigate this book, making the stickies. And my metaphorical travel to Europe, it worked, because these things are tough. They don't tear the book. See, additional prayers. And so to me, that's like a similar genre. And now my brain is starting to understand you've got the Psalter, you've got the Office of Readings, night prayer is night prayer is consistent. Make a tab there. You're always going to say this canticle. So, and then I'm going to do some subcolor coding. So probably where I have my what is it? The primary is what I wanted to call it, but the ordinary, which it kind of is the primary because it's the primary rule, right? It's the rubric. I think I'm going to do sub ones for each one and then color flag some of these common prayers. I'm going to try not to make all those ribbons because that was just too much and memorize more of the navigation of the book. So this is what I picked out for the cover because I figured I would save the other one for Easter time. And this is just, I can't wait to open it up and put this book in there. There are the ribbons. A lot of people have a way that they color code them. If I do anything, I'll just do it in the color of the rainbow to know the order. So if it's the Office of Readings, I'll know, okay, red is going to be the first thing you're going to read. Then you're going to flip to what would be next? I don't even see. I can't even think off the top of my head like that, y'all. This is what I need. And then I'm going to put some labels on these in a little while. So onward, and upward. I've got the Psalms for the Invitatory labeled. So as you know, you have 4 options, and I've got them all labeled, and that's kind of cool. And they're all kind of at the bottom of the book. So it's like my brain will be like, okay, that's what those are. And I used yellow because the day begins with the sun. Okay, y'all, I wanted to show you what I'm using. I'm using these labels 05418, and it's super easy to format it. I'm using Adobe Acrobat. I've got all these different colored labels, or tabs, I guess people call them, and I just typed up all my sections. I've decided this time versus the ribbons to use the labels, and I think it's going to be much easier versus moving ribbons around and so forth. So with each different rendition of this, I've come up with a different way to approach, but you know what? It's allowing me to learn the navigation of the book. Let me now show you how I set up the book. It's all color-coded. I've kind of got it written down here, and I'll go over that right now. Okay, here's a tour how I set up my Liturgy of the Hours 4-volume set. This is the 3rd volume I've gone through, and each time, first I start off with ribbons, and the ribbons had little dots to color code the order of the rainbow. The second time I used ribbons, now I'm using tabs. So I first started off, here's my little color code key right here. So I'm starting off with the Psalms. So I've got each week labeled. So there's week 1, and then there's week 2, and then so forth. There's week 3, and then of course there's week 4, okay? The second thing I did was the Invitatory, and that's in yellow. Let me show you how that is. This is how you're going to start off your day, right? So I've got the first psalm here. Here's the second psalm. I actually kind of flagged it here. Here's another one of the psalms for the Invitatory, and I've just got another flag so I can find it. I'm very ADD, but once again, this is helping me learn how the book is set up by doing this. And if you're a color code person, I promise you, setting up your own little system will be fun, it'll be informative, and you won't get so frustrated. Here's the next one. I've even got a little flag here. I know there's one more. It's probably I skipped it, but you get the point. There's 4 different options that you have, and so I tried to make my tabs where they're organized, but I also can like quickly find where it is. So there are all my different Invitatory tabs in yellow, and then there's the other one. Okay, now let's go to the Office of Readings and how I've set that up. This is called, but because I'm still learning, but I went ahead and put an orange tab there. And then, of course, I've got the Propers of Seasons tab in orange. Here you go. All right. And I just kind of flip through each day. Got the solemnities labeled. So I know a lot of times this prayer will be said, right, will be prayed. So I've got the Te Deum labeled, and here it is. Sometimes it's easier just to put that label on the other side so you can find it, so you can, see all of your labels. Here are the Proper of the Saints section and the Commons. Now, the first time I did this, I labeled each section, but that's just taken me too long. And with the St. Joseph's Guide, it's easy to find it. I may go back and label them, but that's just too many tabs. At some point, it becomes overwhelming, and it's counterproductive. The Propers of Saints. Right, today's January 15th, so I'm not too far behind right now setting up this book. Today's January 17th, so we've got this Abbot, Abbot Anthony, and so now I'm not too far behind, and I love reading about these different saints, so I look forward to reading this one, and I love Egypt. I love the Flights of Egypt. That's one of my favorite Bible Okay, and then
stories.
also in the Office of Readings, I've got my orange tab for the comments. This one, you could really drill it down. I'm always interested in the doctors of the church and so forth, and obviously there's a lot of room here for tabs, but once again, I don't want to go tab crazy. There's that additional area in the Appendix 3 of additional prayers for use at the Liturgy of the Hours, and so I've also labeled that. Okay, back to my handy key. The purple are the two different canticles, so I've got the canticle of Zechariah, and then of course this very significant prayer here. So I've got those labeled. And then the next section is green. That's daytime prayer, and then pink is nighttime prayer. Let me show you what I did with daytime. I've got the section in the ordinary labeled for the daytime hymns, and I even subsectioned them out. The first section is the mid-morning prayer under daytime prayers. The second section is the midday prayer, and I put a tab. And then obviously for mid-afternoon, I put another tab here. So as you can see, I really drill it down, but it allows my brain to understand there are 3 sections to the daytime prayer. And so now obviously then we have our complementary psalmody, right? So I went ahead and labeled that the same way. I've got the main section headed in green, and then I've got each one of those little subsections. Now for nighttime prayer, I put it in pink. For some reason that just... maybe just because I only had some pink tabs left, but I went ahead and put the hymns in one section, and then I separated them by Sundays and solemnities, and then for the weekdays. There you go. There's my nighttime prayer hymns, and got each of the, the hymn section here. The nighttime prayer for the Sundays and solemnity section, and then finally the weekdays. Father Josh has a great video series on YouTube where they're archived, where you can pray along with them. And if you're starting out, this may be the easiest one for you to start out because it's the same every week. I mean, there's not much, there's no change, quite frankly. So, but there's some other wonderful books that I'll show you at some point, some of my video blogs that are really super cool nighttime prayer books. In fact, well, I think I may already have one of my video series. It's from the St. Thomas More House of Prayer, and they've got a really super cool nighttime prayer book that will help you learn nighttime prayer. And they'll send it to you for free if you get on their email list. And it's worth your time signing up for it because the art is beautiful. The book page layout is awesome, and I think you'll really enjoy. It's a free book, quite frankly, but the book layout is just super cool and allows you to learn it. And let me show you what this red tab is. I went ahead and took the index for the Psalms, and I made that red. And then I also have the main index to the book in red, and the ordinary. I also went ahead and put the General Roman Calendar in red. But that way, if I need to flip through and find the index really quickly, I've got that labeled as well. So it looks like I'm getting out of focus here. Okay, so that's how my breakdown this time. This is the 3rd time I've gone through the book. And versus the ribbons, now I'm using the tabs. And so I've got these ribbons here. I don't know if I'll need them, but at least I've got them. And then some people like to use prayer cards, but anyway, that's what I did. I just kind of figured out what are the different elements of the Office of Readings, and I labeled them because it helps my brain understand. There's a common section, you're going to say the Te Deum, there's the Proper of Saints, the instruction will, in case I get lost, and then obviously the Office of Readings. Now, theoretically, I could have made the orange, the Psalms orange as well, but I wanted that partitioned separately, and that's why I have that index, because I'm going to start tracking. There's a great tracker on my website that I found from someone else that allows you to kind of see all the Psalms. And that way you can kind of checklist off, like, oh, have I gone through the Psalms? Because theoretically, you should be able to pray all of the Psalms, 150 of them, minus the 3, in a 4-week cycle. The whole Psalter minus 3 specific Psalms in a 4-week cycle. That's kind of cool. And that's what makes our church so beautiful, the Catholic Church. Okay, thank you for watching my video. I've really enjoyed putting this together, and I hope this helps you. Obviously, you're going to want your St. Joseph guide. I got the big print one, and I just love it. This is a great prayer book. This is the Liturgy of the Hours Compline through the St. Thomas More House of Prayer. Let me just give you a quick little, I don't want to go through the whole book. This you can get for free if you sign up for their email list. And it's absolutely, I can't believe they're doing this for free. It's a gorgeous book. The artwork is off the hook. This book is the whole enchilada cannoli of the nighttime prayer. I just love the layout of it. There's a little table of contents, quick look. I don't want to go through too much of their book, but the artwork is super cool. The layout is really helpful. They explain to you how to use the book, which is super neat. And then, like, let me just turn to one page. So, like, for Tuesday night, okay, we're going to start off with the introductory rite. We've got our penitential rite. It's all spelled out right there for you. The hymn, the psalmody, the reading, the responsory. This is it's just a super cool book. So jump online, go to the St. Thomas More House of Prayer, and pick up one of these books by signing up for their email list. I mean, it's free, y'all. Here's my Daughters of Mary cover. This is for the Father Lassan's New Roman Missal, and it perfectly fits your 4-volume set. And I'm going to go ahead and put it together right now. This is going to be we'll put it together. I'm going to put the book inside of here. I love the Daughters of Mary. The artwork, let me just show you what this looks like. Look at that detail, y'all. I mean, this is, it's so cool that it fits the 4-volume set, because I really try to only buy things from nuns. And rather than buying just a mass-produced Liturgy of the Hour cover, I would rather support the Daughters of Mary. And they've got all kinds of different designs. And you got to watch the website. They'll have a special, and boom, it may not be there again. So, but this is, I think is one of their standard ones for the Missal. I just love this touch too, the label that you get, and the book can fit in there. I just put mine in. I don't necessarily use these flaps, but let me show you how it looks. Isn't that a neat touch? See, it fits right in there. It's just like super cool. I just love this, and then you just zip it up. Let me show you what it looks like zipped up. I just realized this is a cloth version. Some of the other ones I have are more like a vinyl version, and I really like this cloth, and I love the detail. Super cool Liturgy of the Hours cover. Y'all can jump online and buy that from the Daughters of Mary. Isn't that cool? It just fits it perfectly. I tried it out one day. I was like, wow, this is neat. So at some point I'll do a video and I'll show you all the different designs that I've purchased from them for the Liturgy of the Hours books, and then for my Father Lassan's that Missal, by the way, that's what got me on the Latin Mass. I purchased the Missal, and I'm like, it doesn't match. And I emailed the local priest, and he explained to me the difference between this is the large. They have a small version of this for the St. Andrew's Missal, and then he had to explain to me the difference between the two different forms of Masses I didn't even know. And so that's what kind of got me going to Latin Mass. Okay, thank you for watching.